Shabbat Shalom to all my friends at SW3 and beyond. You know, they say the book of Genesis, the book of Bereshit, has one theme going through it. Ma'aseh Avos Siman Labonim. How our forefathers and foremothers conducted themselves, that is a sign for how we, their descendants, should conduct themselves. And in every episode that we read in this wonderful book of Genesis, from the time that Abraham and Sarah are mentioned, all the way to the death of Jacob and Joseph and that whole family and the whole generation, every single story has something to teach us, including a detail which we might even miss. There is one in this week's Sidra, right at the beginning. This week's Sidra is called Chayey Sarah, the life of Sarah. Even though it talks about her death and even begins with her death, it's still called a life because the rabbis tell us that the legacy of Mother Sarah is so much more alive today after her death. And the third sentence begins with the words, Vayakom Avraham me'al penei mesai. Avraham gets up from where the dead body was lying in front of him. The first two sentences, the first one tells us how old Sarah was when she died. The second sentence tells us that she died in Kiryat Arba in Hebron, and Avraham and Yitzchak came there after the event in the mountain, and they cried for her and they eulogized for her. And then the third sentence says, and Avraham got up from the dead body in front of him. And Rabbi Shimon Shkop says, why do we need to know he got up? Say he left, we know he had to still go and buy and negotiate the sale of the Amarat HaMachpelah, where Sarah would be buried together later with Avraham, and Yitzchak and Rivka, and Yaakov and Leah. So why does he have to get up? He hasn't even buried her yet. And the answer is this. He knows that now is not the time to mourn because he has yet to secure a burial place for his wife. He needs to dust himself off, put on his best suit and tie, because we are all ambassadors of God, every single Jew, man, woman, child. We are ambassadors of God. We represent a higher authority. And because of that, because Abraham knew he now has to negotiate with Ephron, a Hittite, and his gang, he cannot look in any way, shape or form less than the most professional manner, because he is representing God. So Rav Shimon Shkop says the sentence tells us on purpose, Vayakom Avraham, he gets up from that whole situation to play the part of an ambassador of God. What a test that we have to do to remember at any given time, whether we like it or not, we are ambassadors of Hashem. And like Avraham, in the most testing circumstance, did it the right way, negotiated a deal where to bury his wife, bought the land, and then once she was buried, the Shiva commenced and then he mourned. But when it's time to represent God, wherever we are, we need to remember who we are. Maaseh Avot Siman Labanim. The way our foremothers and forefathers were in the book of Genesis should always give us the way to conduct ourselves as we are today. Shabbat Shalom, and remember, Shabbat Hanukkah, literally 5 weeks today and tomorrow, we're back. Venue to be confirmed. It's going to be beautiful. Can't wait to see you all there. Meanwhile, look after yourselves. Shabbat Shalom.